7, and our headlines here on BBC News are that new pictures have emerged showing the moment a devastating earthquake hit southwestern China. Nearly 15,000 people are now known to have been killed, while tens of thousands more remain missing, buried under the debris.
In Burma, up to 130,000 people are feared. Well, let's get more now on the earthquake that devastated China's Sichuan province. The BBC has received many photographs and videos from people affected.
Yeah, charity workers from the Care and Share Foundation, who are helping people in Sichuan, sent these photographs to its founder, Mel Richardson, who then forwarded them to us. Just an idea there of the devastation in the city of Dujiangyan.
And here you can see some damage to a church spire in that same city, still standing but very badly damaged.
Close-up of a damaged apartment, really, how the walls just completely come away, exposing the rooms inside there.
And here people from the town of Jiangyun shelter under plastic sheeting. People in the rain there with their umbrellas lining up for food and water as the aid effort gets underway. And people being tended to in the street, very rudimentary medical assistance there, but that is what there is needed in that area right now, medical assistance, because so many are injured following that earthquake. You may have seen that the pictures that we had, the video footage of the moment the earthquake hit, just a few minutes, and the impact that it has had has been catastrophic for that region. Well, we can speak to Mel Richardson, who's in our Southampton studio. He is the person who sent in these photographs. He's got lots of friends working in the affected area, and he also has a brother out there, and he's joined by his wife Cici, whose parents are in Chengdu. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
The pictures that you've sent in really give a very graphic idea of the damage that's been wrought. What have the people on the ground who you've been speaking to been saying to you about it?
Well, they've been saying that obviously it's quite devastating, but very, very scary if you're in a building that suddenly starts swaying around and for no reason. You know, the feeling of devastation and fear is quite tangible. So people just got out into the street as fast as possible. And that included some of the team that I have in Chengdu, who are waiting to go back to work up in the Tibetan mountains, but they were temporarily in Chengdu when it struck.
And Cici, I know your parents, Cici, are in Chengdu. It took you some time to find out that they are safe. Just tell us how you finally managed to get in touch with them.
In that day, when I know the news, the earthquake in England, in Chengdu, so I'm very afraid. So I want to contact my mom, dad, but I couldn't get through. So I'm very worried. But the day after, so I contact my mom, dad. So my family, all the family is okay. So I'm very happy.
Must be an enormous relief. Mel, in the pictures that you've sent us, we can see the massive clean-up operation that's going to be needed. I mean, the pictures that you have sent just show a relatively small area from the entire area affected. But one of the key concerns right now is to get to people buried under that rubble. What are you hearing about that operation?
Well, obviously it's very, very difficult, and if you try and move heavy rocks and heavy bricks and everything else, the worry is everything's going to come tumbling down on top of you. So the people are actually very brave who are doing the rescue work, and I must say the Chinese government moved very quickly actually to try and do something, which is, I think, very impressive.
And we saw also medical assistance being given on the streets. Just tell us more about what they're able to do for people at the moment.
Well, in somewhere like Chengdu, which is a major city which is about 57 miles away from the epicenter, people came out in the street and they were just sort of sheltering in tents and whatever, and then were able to return somewhat to their own apartments. But further up and further near the epicenter in Wenchuan, around there, I understand really that there's just not enough water for people, because people are worried that the pipes are going to be contaminated, and the bottled water has all been sold out where they can buy it. So there's a big worry initially with contaminated water and the supply of bottled water.
And Cici, what conditions are your parents living in right now? Have they been able to go back to their home?
Now they go back home. The first day they live in the outside. 4 million people live in the outside in Chengdu the first day.
Chengdu is a city of 10 million people, and 4 million of Chengdu are outside in the street, including Cici's parents who are in their 80s. So it was quite an ordeal, actually, for people like that.
Yes, they're very scared.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that they are okay, and we really appreciate your time, both of you, tonight. Mel and Cici, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Yeah, our pleasure to come.
Well, here.
Hello, I'm Sally Taylor. Welcome to South Today.
It'll take years for survivors to put their lives back together. A Gosport-based charity knows the region well. They've been taking doctors, teachers and engineers there for more than a decade. The people had little to start with. Now many have nothing.
If they're in the middle of an epicentre of an earthquake, then no chance, you know, it'd be absolutely flattened. In fact, it's quite distressing to see the pictures because we got many pictures of how it was. And to see the pictures of how it is now is really quite distressing, actually.
Mel's wife Cici comes from the city of Chengdu. She too had an anxious wait for news.
I'm very happy because I got through. So I'm very happy because they are still in life. My family and my sister, all is okay.
For Cici, there's such relief that her family is safe, but heartbreak that her homeland is devastated. Caroline Richardson, BBC South Today.
Anxious times for many. Now stay with